What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with another album review. So yeah, this week, it's going to be a very slow week, so there's only one more review coming after this, and then there's no Under the Radar. But today I am talking about the latest offering from Lucifuge with HEXENSABBAT. This also came out on May 24th, this time on Dying Victims Productions, and, well, this is their sixth album overall, and yet they've been pumping out music since 2018, so this band has just been pumping out release after release, but I'm not sure if I listened to the last one that came out in 2023 for an Under the Radar, or if this is my first time checking this band out, but this is a German band that started out as a straight-up black metal band, and now they're more of a blackened thrash speed metal band. And, well, that's pretty much the perfect descriptor of this entire album. Like, I will just flat out say, every single song on this album, it's aggressive, yet with, like, little bits of sleaze to it. Like, you get that with the opening track, Gates of the Eternal Night. You get, like, sinister riffs that almost combine... It's like sinister and sleaze. It combines the sinister nature of a band like Slayer with the sleaziness of a band like Midnight. Combine them together, and then this also was the first of a couple of songs that incorporated little hints of dissonance. Then you get into like blast beats and tremolos that scream first wave black metal, or for a contemporary band to compare it to, Hellripper would be a very good comparison point for this band, I would say, especially on this album. Like, almost top to bottom, I got lots of nods to Hellripper, which... give me more of those because I love Hellripper. And then it goes into the title track, which this one definitely reminds me a lot of like the first Bathory album. Like this song, and actually as well as the songs No Sun Shall Rise and They Come in Legions. Like those songs have more of that like very early Bathory feel to it. Like the first two Bathory albums, I would say. The Chord of the Profane, which was the longest track of the album at nearly 6 minutes. The opening riff kind of made me think, is this like an evil Iron Maiden riff? Because it has a little bit of that epic quality and some of that gallop that Maiden's known for. And it does gallop along pretty well, and then suddenly, off-time rhythms and riffs. Then it suddenly becomes sleazy thrash. There's even a doomy breakdown, and this is one of only a couple of songs where I would say it gets anywhere near towards doom territory. Now, as far as the lead work goes, basic shred, but it works. It absolutely works, as it's just all about, like, hey, let's just shred it up and have a fucking good time with it, you motherfuckers, just take it in your fucking ass. That kind of feel to the leads, which, yeah, again, little basic, but they work. Now, No Sun Shall Rise. This one, again, more of that sleazy thrashiness of Hellripper and early Bathory, but there's a lot of, like, new wave of British heavy metal influence on this song. Like, I was thinking, am I listening to bands like Angel Witch, Diamond Head, Samson all of a sudden in this song? Which... always gets a plus if you incorporate a little bit of that old school Nawabum influence in a blackened thrash band. Into Eternal Sleep. This one, the melodies that start this one off are more soaring melodies, and then you get more speed metal. Like, then we start getting into a section of songs where it's more speed metal inspired with the riffing and the drums. There's even a nice little triplet swing, but an amazing harmony that made me think of the last Hellripper album, particularly the title track, Warlock Scrim and Withered Hags. The Sign of Cain. This one was maybe the most aggressive song of the album, like straight up Slayer-esque machine gun riffing and brutality, even lumbering grooves, which is maybe the only time on the album I would say there's any element of groove to it. An Oath of Fire, or An Oath of Blood and Fire, I should say. This one, you get more of those like blackened blast beats and speed metal riffs, D beats, even double time with those blackened tremolo riffs to just add more evilness to it. Enter the Realms of Death. This one brings back a little bit of a Midnight vibe as well as Motorhead, and it's quite dirty and nasty and grimy sounding. They come in legions. Like I said, kind of reminds me more of early Bathory, harmonized riffs, gallops, even huge tremolo melodies that lead along into another double time groove. But then the closing track, Curse to Eternity, this one kind of goes for some other elements that weren't really on the album at all. After you start off with more of that like black metal tremolo and blast, suddenly it gets bluesy out of nowhere. Like you get this like bluesy groove. There's some dissonant melodies that come up here and there, and dare I say, almost doom metal oriented before it gallops along towards the very end. So yeah, songwriting wise, definitely mixing a lot of things like classic metal, black metal, thrash metal, speed metal, very much like bands like Hellripper, but also even like early Bathory, some Midnight, some Motorhead, Slayer, Venom, kind of that like early to mid 80s first wave black metal, speed metal, and thrash metal sounds from back during that time frame. As far as the production goes, it sounds old school when it comes down to the actual raw recording, but the mix is pretty well done because the bass is pretty prevalent in the mix. As far as anything to complain about, I do think a good chunk of these songs kind of sound similar to one another, as it's all going for the same ideas, and it's not reinventing the wheel, but then again, you don't really have to reinvent the wheel, just make your own wheel of taking homage from old bands and maybe even somewhat current bands. But overall, I thought this was a fun listen. I am going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. It's sleazy, it's raw, it's energetic, raw dog, it's aggressive, but very melodic at points. So yeah, 3.5. And of course, those are just my opinions. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thank you for watching. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet.
Thank you for your patronage.